Today's episode of This Week in Startups is brought to you by Squarespace. Use promo code TWiST10 when signing up to receive a 20% discount for 6 months. And GoToMeeting. Use promo code START to begin your free 30-day trial.
Hey everybody, it's This Week in Startups, and today on the program you're going to learn how Ryan Carson built a multi-million-dollar global conference business. He's going to get into all the inside detail and tell us about his new startup, Treehouse, that Kevin Rose invested in, and I didn't. I passed. Also, we're going to have an Ask Jason, and Tyler will not be dropping any insights. He is protesting in solidarity for the 99%. All that and more right now on This Week in Startups.
That's what it's all about, man. They said money is the root of all evil. What? Funny how it feeds my people. Yeah. We ain't gonna live like equals until we get the money, spend the money, and defeat you. Yeah. Money is the root of all evil. What? Funny how it feeds my people. Yeah. We ain't gonna live like equals until we get the money, spend the money, and defeat you.
Ah, yes, it's This Week in Startups. You know the program, you love the program. This is the program where you, the audience, get to learn about entrepreneurship, starting companies, the pain, the suffering, the glory, the awesomeness that is entrepreneurship. Every week we bring different entrepreneurs on the program and we ask them how they did it, how they succeeded, how they failed, how they got through the sleepless nights. I am here with my co-host, Tyler Crowley. Woo. That's it, we're done. Okay, now Tyler's here. Oh, give me those 10 commandments. Give me these goddamn 10 commandments. I got the 10 commandments
on a gravestone
of thisweekin.com. On a gravestone, huh? No, we had a staff meeting the other day, and we did a 10 commandments. So we're trying to figure out what makes a great podcast. And number one, at this network thou shalt set an agenda for the show. What will you learn? What questions will be answered? Why arest thou here?
Ooh.
I like this. This kid Sam is good. I get this kid Sam here, and I brought him in. He's like pain in the ass calling me, I want a job, emailing me. I hired him.
Nice.
Because it was easier to hire them than to keep dealing with all these emails and God damn it, I did it already. And I got no cash on me. An F-bomb 2 minutes into the show, it's a record. Anyway, we want to tell people what they're going to learn up front on the show, Tyler. Mm-hmm. This way they feel like, hey, I know what's coming up. And what we're going to learn today is how Ryan Carson, how you doing, Ryan?
Nice to see you. Yeah, lovely to be here.
Who built the amazing FOWA conference.
Thank you.
Power of One coming up. It's going to be a great event I'll be speaking at. And you built this massive global conference business.
Thanks.
A dozen employees, I think. I mean, maybe over 10 million in revenue. I don't know, but it's definitely millions of dollars, incredibly profitable company. And you're going to tell us exactly how you did it and about this new startup,
also
Treehouse.
Also very well run.
Oh,
well, also very well respected. And from one conference producer to another,
right.
I mean, I look at your events and I take notes.
Exactly.
You know, I'm like, we're in the cab, and we're like,
right.
my God, he's got a driver picking us up, and in the cab is something for us in the back seat.
We try to be attention
to detail. That's what Carson has done well. And
I don't know how he does it, but he makes time for everybody at the conference, and he's like,
he's very fluid that way. He's like the anti-Mike.
Because you know it.
The anti-Mike Arrington.
But you're so busy when you're putting on an event.
Yeah.
He walks around like he's not busy at all. I'm like, what is going on?
Here's my imitation of Carson
at
at event. Here's Carson at event. Hey Jason, how's London? And how's Tyler doing? And wow, I was reading your blog post the other day. That was really brilliant. And This Week in Startups is hitting an all-time high. It's just awesome. Thank you so much for coming out. That's Carson at an event.
I appreciate that.
Here's Mike Arrington. What do you want from me? I hope you die. That's the stupidest idea I've ever heard. Go F yourself.
Pretty much.
That's pretty much what Mike Arrington would do at the conferences.
Yeah.
And then I would be like running over like, I'm sorry, you gave us $35,000 for a title sponsorship, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's just Mike. People were like, wow, that was bizarre.
But the reason, I think any success that I've had in business is probably down to Dale Carnegie's book.
7 Habits.
No,
I'm sorry. How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Almost.
Be more interested.
Yeah. Be interested in other people.
Be interested in other people.
Yeah, more interested in them than yourself. It's just, I think it's kind of a fundamental key to life. I mean, it's not just business.
Absolutely it is.
And I think you said on one of these shows that business is always personal.
Always.
Yeah, it's not like, it's business, it's not personal. No, it's always personal.
And
right?
if you want to make business more personal, you should use GoToMeeting because its HD Faces
Nice.
is perfect and it's integrated and it's stable. GoToMeeting is the way to do great connections. You've used GoToMeeting.
Okay.
Flawless, strong, powerful, works on your iPhone, works on your Android, and they support independent media like This Week in Startups. And I use it, and the show is sold out. I don't need any sponsors to do the show. I pay for it myself, and I did for the first year. Now I did. I lost money on the show. I was dropping a couple of dimes a week. And you know what? I love it. I don't care. I got the cheddar. But the point is, these guys sponsor the program, and this program is sold out because we only allow white-listed advertisers. What that means is we make a list, Tyler, myself, the crew, and we discuss who would we like to be in business with. And that's the best way to do business, is to select your partners. And I personally selected GoToMeeting because I use it and I love the product. And you will love the product. Go use the promo code. What promo code am I using?
Start.
Oh, START, yes. You know, the thing is, I can't see because it's a teleprompter, like a little thing. So use the promo code START, and you will have a great life. I guarantee you, if you get GoToMeeting, your life will be better because you'll be taken seriously when you do those meetings. If somebody says to me, can I show you just 10 minutes on the phone and do a GoToMeeting, I'll show you my product, and you can decide if you want to angel invest it. And I say, sure, great idea, Carson. And then I say, no. Anyway, GoToMeeting is the greatest piece of software ever. It's incredibly stable. I use it. What more do I need to tell you? Just get over there and get it. And it's affordable. And the HD Faces is how we do these incredible guests remotes. And it's stable, and it's the best HD on the net. There's no other solution, free or paid, that works as good as GoToMeeting. Please go use it, and please thank them on your Twitter account by saying thank you at GoToMeeting for supporting independent media like This Week in Startups. Carson.
Well done.
Thank you. Jesus, I'm 40 years old. I mean,
you're a youngling. Come on.
I know. God, I mean, it's like I'm still. You know, then you make it, and you still gotta fight. I fight for my sponsors.
Never stop.
I fight for them because you know what? I believe in them. And another person I believe in is Ryan Carson. I met Ryan years and years ago, and he asked me to speak at his conference. And of course, I said no, I'm too busy. But I eventually was able to make it to an event, and I went to the event. And Tyler knows. Tyler handles a lot of this.
I went to every one of those.
Tyler went to every one of these.
Except the Vegas one, damn it.
Yeah, that was
And he's tweeting at me. He's like, get out
How
of
many
here.
events do I turn down versus
Oh,
accept?
jeez.
Is it 20 to 1?
At least?
And I went to this event, and then I said, after going to one of them, and you know,
I would
have to
say
say
40 to 50
okay, anyway, Carson said to me, Carson gave me a keynote slot, and I don't know if it was when I was starting Weblogs Inc. or something, but
It was in 07, I think.
yeah. So anyway, I could have used the press, right? I was thinking maybe starting Mahalo. I could have used it, you know. And he gave me a keynote slot on like the first day, and there was like 2,000 people there, and it was like a great favor and mitzvah. And then I said to him, anytime you need me, let me know. And he, like every other event, he called me and said, hey, come do it. And I said, you know what? I'll do it. Because it's quality people in the audience.
Always, every time.
One thing I think, one thing to say about you though, that's interesting, and the reason what I've learned, another thing about business in general, I think sort of a tip is that loyalty matters.
Oh yeah.
So I think you are one of the more loyal people I've
course.
met. And you know, I get a lot of for saying I'm a friend of yours. You know, people. Oh,
and you spend $20.
Yeah.
Really? You got S? Yeah.
Well, you know, people love you or hate you. And
yeah, there's a little polarizing.
Well,
sometimes.
basically, the lesson I say is, listen, you guys. One thing that Jason is loyal, and that, and in business, it goes back to how to win friends and influence people. You got to be the kind of person you want to be around, and I think. And so when you spoke, you basically said, "This is a good show." Yeah. And then from then on, you know, whenever I needed a favor, you helped. You know,
I always try to help my friends, and I think
it's important.
You have to decide. This is the thing about loyalty in business. It is just a little binary. You don't have to be loyal to everybody. You don't have to go to bat for everybody you meet. There's too many people.
Yeah.
But if you pick a handful of people and you develop relationships with them in a very deep way, I find that's the most effective networking strategy.
But it's also more fun. I mean, you want to know people for real.
Yeah, you get to know people and develop a relationship with them, and it's a better quality of life.
Yeah, that's all good. We can talk about that.
No, you were at the poker table. Don't worry.
Wait, what happened? You guys went for a massage? I went to,
you
were
there, actually.
Oh yeah, I was.
You were
yes,
there.
I remember
you were playing
that.
poker.
I was playing
retired.
poker. Yes.
That was great.
So let's go through this. You 100% bootstrapped your conference, and it's Carsonified is the name of the company.
Right. Yeah. So Carsonified started in 2000. So I have a computer science degree. Used to code, and was an employee, and basically realized I was a terrible employee.
Yeah,
I was
the
like,
same story with me.
Hated my bosses.
Right,
you know,
they hated you. Did they say you were unmanageable?
Yeah, and I thought I could do what they do. You know, they get paid way too much money.
So you had a chip?
And so I said, I could do this. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And as soon as obviously I left and started my own company, I was like, well, this is hard.
Yeah.
This is kind of hard.
You start to appreciate how easy it is.
Well, like, wait a minute, I won't get paid every month necessarily.
Right. And you are responsible for paying everybody else.
Yeah. And
congratulations, you are now an entrepreneur.
And that was kind of the learning curve. But we started doing events because I was building stuff, and we wanted to get people together in the UK, right? There's too much talk about Silicon Valley. Back then, this was 2006.
Yeah.
You know, and we thought we need to do something in the UK. I happened to be there because I moved there, and we did our first future web apps, and we got lucky basically. David Hansen spoke. Joshua Schachter.
Wow, from Delicious
Werner
fame.
Vogels, you know, CTO of Amazon.
Wow.
And that kind of showed
So
people.
you got 3 amazing people to come to London.
Yeah.
How did you do that as a nobody? You were a nobody at the time?
No, yeah, nobody. This is the key, and this was, I believe, integral to my success was I did this meetup called By Designers for Designers. And this was back pre-marriage, pre-kids. I had tons of time. You know, I could do something every night. And it was right at the dot-com bust. And basically, everybody was losing their job. Everybody.
So the market was down.
Yeah.
And you brought people together.
Yeah, well, we were passionate about doing web stuff. It was, you know, we're not going to stop being passionate because the market's imploding, right? So we thought, let's go to a bar, let's get a projector, and let's just talk about the web and what's going on. And it was called By Designers for Designers, or BD40.com. And we started doing it, and then on the site, we called it Creative Fight Club. And the idea was anybody could run a BD40 event anywhere in the world, and we'd put it on the site and promote it. So Tel Aviv, they could run a BD40. LA, they could run a BD40.
Wow. And this is 10 years before TEDx.
Yeah, this was
8 years before TEDx.
Yeah, this was in 2000.
Oh, 10 years before TEDx.
And so we basically, the web was small back then. I mean, people who were doing web stuff, you knew
It was
everybody.
a handful of people.
Yeah. So we traveled around and
it was much smaller after the dot-com bust.
Right.
I mean, you only had the true believers.
Yeah.
Because the internet was considered a fraud at that time.
Right. Yeah.
People thought
Yeah,
you
it was
were
kinda weird and-
some kind of a shyster or a charlatan if you were in the internet business. Now,
but the
tell me if this
connections
is
I made
true.
during that was what led to me being able to invite David Henry Hansen.
the person
I
who
think the reason
hosts-
his conferences are so amazing is
Yeah.
because he's one of us doing the conference.
Yeah.
He's not a
right,
professional
you feel
conference
like
guy.
You
Yeah.
don't feel like he's a smarmy conference guy. He's got the credibility. But
Thank you.
let me ask you this.
Makes all the difference.
It does. And the person who throws the party is twice as good looking and attractive and intelligent as everybody attending the party in your experience, correct?
Yep. It all relates to if you're at the middle of it.
If you're the person, and it's like being a rock star in a way, the person throwing the party and the person who is the host then has this light that just gets put on them, like this person actually created something.
Totally. And you become the center of that community.
Right.
Right.
And that is what helped you. So you
man.
basically built it up. It wasn't
Yep.
like you got lucky.
No, it was 4 years of working, loving the web, and then I emailed a guy named Eric Meyer, who's the god of CSS, and I said, will you do a workshop for us? And he's like, I know you through BD40. I was like, no way, you know me? You know.
So you built your credibility. How many people came to the first one?
Well, I think about 800.
800 people came to the first
but it was
FOWA? Or
yeah, the
how many
first
people
FOWA.
came to the first BD40?
Oh, probably they were sort of 30, 40 people max.
So you just
know.
emailed your list and you got that many people showing
Yeah, I was like, hey, we got someone to pay for the beer.
Right.
You know, but being the center of the party of the conference, you're right, is just absolutely amazing.
Right.
For
instant credibility.
Connecting, yeah. And all of a sudden, you're a guy who knows what you're talking about. You're like, no, I'm just on stage. Oh, well, actually, I do. I'm sort of learning when I.
If you're on stage, you are credible. I mean,
it's
in people's
amazing.
mind, it
yeah,
just
it's
magnifies
instant.
it.
It's crazy.
Thus, the reason why speaking gigs are so critical for startup companies.
Oh man.
And the person who can give the speaking gig and controls the
more
stage
powerful.
becomes even more powerful.
If you're the MC at a show like that,
Right.
you're like the connector, the person who, and all you're trying to do is help people, but all of a sudden you realize, wait a minute, okay, now I'm controlling what's happening.
Did you know that going into
No,
BD40?
no, I had no clue.
When
I just
did
thought this would
it
be fun.
dawn on you, like, wow, I'm becoming a power broker in London, one of the top 5 cities in the world?
I think it was when
In one of the top 2 or 3 industries in the world.
yeah, it was basically when I emailed Eric Meyer and he's like, yeah, I know you. And I was like, whoa.
Great feeling, isn't it?
Interesting. Yeah, and the same thing, and this keeps happening, and I will say this until I die. If you want to be in the center of an industry, run conferences.
Yeah.
Because, like, I emailed Brad Feld the other day, and I just said, hey, want to, get in touch with him. He was like, yeah, of course I know you. Like, I like your stuff. I'm like, what?
And so the conversation starts 10 emails in, 5 lunches in.
Yeah.
Instant credibility.
Exactly. They already know me. They like me. So I would say, if you want to be in the center of an industry, start a simple conference, not to make money. Do not aim to make profit off it initially.
It's hard to make money off a conference.
Oh my gosh, yeah. It's
And
really
it's
stressful.
a lot more work than you think is going
And
to
how
be going
stressful?
into it.
Tell me about the most stressful moment at the worst time when you thought, I'm going to lose hundreds of thousands of dollars to this conference. Because firing up a conference
Oh my gosh.
at the FOWA level cost $500,000, $250,000?
At its height, it was 700 at least.
Right. So you have to basically
Excel center one?
sign.
Yeah,
You have to
that was a
sign
big one.
contracts for $700,000.
It's the scariest thing ever.
Sign 700,000 contracts, and you have to put up deposits of 20, 30% for everything.
Yeah, we made all of our revenue in the last 10 days before the show.
Oh my God.
And before that,
were you not sleeping at night?
Yeah, so I actually almost threw up at least 3 times. Like, we would look at the cash flow.
Physically, yeah.
Yeah, we would look at the cash flow, and my, sorry, ex-employees, it did happen. I looked at the cash flow a couple times, and I felt sick.
Wow.
Physically thought you would throw up.
Well, yeah, surely you've had that
Oh
feeling.
yeah,
where you're
we're there. We're right there with you.
You know, you're like, oh my gosh, like, this could go actually really wrong.
Yeah.
Like, for
And
real.
that drove you.
You just put your head down and you
do
go
better
crazy.
work.
Yeah, and it's.
But it can break you too.
Oh yeah, I mean, and it's hard because my wife and I, we run the company together, and back then she was working with me, and so, but I was the guy who was in control. I was the CEO really, and I'd have to come home and say, okay, I think we have a problem. And
did it break you to the point where you were just out of control? Like, were you yelling at people? Were you out of control? Were you under stress?
If I get
sleeping?
stressed and worried, I get kind of quiet, and I just think, and
ulcers.
yeah, it's a little bit like, I get
Holy
heartburn. But this is entrepreneurship. This is what's fun about this game. I mean, then the highs are high, aren't they?
But
Yeah. No, nothing like being at the show when it's the morning of and everybody's like, there's nobody here.
Yeah.
And then you just go, everybody take a breath. It's 8 o'clock. The show starts at 9, and there's 10% of the place is filled.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's 8:30 and 25 is filled, and people are still panicking. And then at 5 minutes to 9, there's not a seat open.
And that is the conference business.
Yes.
But this is also why I got out of it.
You want to be able to sleep at night.
Well, it was the kind of business, the cash flow goes like this.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get into a business where I could affect people's lives in a deeper way on a more consistent basis and have recurring revenue. So another thing I'll shout from the hilltops is build a business with recurring revenue, like you're doing with Squeal. It's just you look at the cash flow and it just goes, consistently up. You
don't want to be in that position where after you have this great success, you got to start all over again, building it up. You want to have some sort. You were going to say something, Tyler?
I was going to say people don't know this, but back on that point, we're 10 days out.
Yeah.
And no one's bought tickets yet, and you're losing your noodle. On the TC50 conferences, Heather and Mike were on the phone like, what the frick is going on? And you were like, calm down. Everyone buys their tickets in the last, because you had done these
them
before.
in the Silicon Valley days. I had multi-million-dollar conferences before we did TechCrunch 50.
Those were funny phone calls.
Yeah, and you actually gave me some good advice. I remember at the first Excel, we shared a cab afterwards, and I said, you ran shows, what's the deal? And you gave me some key advice on, just keep in touch with it. It was sponsors. You said, you got to collect 50% up front with sponsors. What are you doing? And I was like, oh.
Note to self.
And I would one of the things I learned at Silicon Reporter was we would bring signed insertion orders for the next year.
That's so smart.
To each of the booths.
Because that's when the
on the
energy's
last
there.
day.
This is amazing. Get next
we would
year.
like to lock you in now. We're going to give you a 20% discount if you sign today.
Right.
And based on the show, you can see how great it is. We're going to sell out, and I don't want you to lose your spot. And 9 out of 10 people would just sign. They'd be like, of course, Jason, we want to support you.
Yeah.
Because you got them when in the peak moment.
Right, but that's sales ability. And I think one thing I was just talking to Mark Suster about is that, why is it, especially that web entrepreneurs underrate the ability to sell? Like, it is it is business.
It is,
you sort of think, oh, it's smarmy. No. Being able to sell is the most
you're
important thing
always selling. I mean, when you go in to talk to a VC, you're selling. With angel investors, even on stage when you're trying to sell your product to the public. I mean, Steve Jobs was a consummate salesman.
Oh my gosh, yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah.
So
tell me about this. Now you've decided to get out of the conference business. What's going on with that?
So it got acquired.
Oh wow! Congratulations.
Thank you.
I knew that was
in the works.
We had talked about it, but I wasn't sure. So you've sold.
Future of events.
The future of events.
Yep. So future web apps, future web design, future mobile, and I'm sort of announcing that here.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Wow! Congratulations. Well, there's breaking news. Hey, somebody tell the launch team that Carson has sold the Future of Web Apps series.
Yeah.
And you sold it for $18 million. That you told me before the show started.
That's right.
No, he didn't tell me. But selling a conference business, since I've been involved in it, is different than a internet business in terms of the sales multiple, correct?
Big time. Yeah. It's not. the other thing I'd say, that's why I said don't go into conferences trying to make a lot of money.
Right.
There is money to be made, but only if you're at the top tier.
Yes.
If you're
the TED conference or TechCrunch 50.
Absolutely millions to be made.
Yes, you can make $1 million a year.
I think you guys can do well with launch.
Well, actually, I'm trying to not do well. I'm trying to specifically not make money on. I'm trying to disrupt, to use a word, the conference business by giving away free tickets to people who don't usually get to go to shows.
Well, and I think actually if you're willing to disrupt a lot, you'll get much more out of a conference.
TC50 was not really intended or really expected to make money.
No, we just thought we'd break even the first year.
But your whole point was the goodwill nature, like just put it all back in.
Yes, put it all back in.
So I think at some point I realized I'm a web guy. I have a computer science degree. I want to build web product. And I kind of have eventually built a conference company, which is great. And I owe all my amazing friendships really to it. I mean, I wouldn't know you guys. I wouldn't, be able to email Mark Suster and have him email me right back. All that happens because of that.
And you learned a lot, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean,
but it must get hard too, as like so many startups are kicking off, and you know you have the skills, and you're watching people.
Let's do it.
Yeah, but you're watching people who you know you're maybe have more skills than be successul, and you're like, oh, I just got to get in there.
So I think at some point I told Jill, I was like, we need to move on. Like, this is a great business, but we're ready to build a product, and let's get it done, and then move on.
Hey, so for those folks who are watching right now, go to chill.com, which is a really cool new startup based here in LA, and click on the This Week in Startups room and watch it there because it's a really cool conversation.
It is really cool. I've never seen it
you
before.
can see Chill on my computer. Actually, I can do that myself.
That's awesome.
Computer and take. Boom. There we go. So there's Chill, and you can see us and the people in the room.
That's
so
really
get in
cool.
there, and people love it for chatting.
I need to actually tweet about it.
Chill is awesome, and
So
everybody,
chill.com.
please tweet that Ryan sold his business and to come to the Chill room, and actually go to the web 2.0 room on Chill and tell those people to come over to this room and hear about the exclusive. So what was your decision to sell the business? Let's talk about that for a second.
It was after the up and down nature, sort of thinking, okay, this is the type of business that's always going to be up and down.
You didn't want to live
cash
that
flow.
life,
right? I was like, I want a more profitable business, and I want a more I want a business that I can predict a little bit better, and then I
Were
can
you
grow.
jealous, as Tyler was sort of saying, of the people who had these big scalable businesses? Did you look at that and say, I want that life, I want the Evernote life, I want the Kevin Rose life?
Well,
Maybe
maybe
have people speaking
let him
on
answer the
panels.
question.
Well, but I'm going to say something he's not at liberty
Tyler's
to say.
talkative today.
I like it.
Yeah, you have.
I think it's because you're good friends with him.
Because he has guests on his panels that he's listening to all this, and he knows he's like can pull off. I mean,
We know we could execute.
He's basically saying,
you get frustrated when you have a guest that you're like,
I'm smarter than that guy.
Yeah.
Basically, he can't say that, but I'm as smart as that guy.
Yeah.
So you had the same experience you had when you were working for other people.
A little bit.
The people you put on stage, you felt you were as smart as them. You didn't see any difference between a Kevin Rose and yourself.
Yeah, I felt, this is what I love to do. It's exciting. I want to get back into it. But what I learned from the conference business is that, people need to learn. And they need to consistently move forward with their knowledge, and they need to do it at a cheap price. So we launched Think Vitamin membership.
Right, I remember that.
Which was based off of thinkvitamin.com, which is a blog we'd been running.
Yeah.
We launched,
and that did pretty well. You started getting hundreds of people signing up for it.
Yeah.
And then you decided this is going to be a big business.
This is a big business.
When we come back from commercial, you tell everybody exactly how you raised money for it.
Will do.
And what that business is. And hey, I think we have an executive producer here. Is that executive producer Jeff is in the studio?
How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing? I think did they mic you or no?
No.
They didn't mic him. Okay, but anyway, that's executive producer Jeff. If you would like to become a producer of the program, you can go to twistlist.co. Speaking of sponsorship, speaking of subscriptions, reoccurring revenue, we have that here. What do we provide for that? Well, you get to come to my conferences. When I go speak at a conference, Ryan will tell you, I'm like, hey, Ryan, I'm speaking. I'm not charging you a speaking fee. Give me 5 free tickets, 10 free tickets, and you do it, of course.
Yeah, of course.
You do that anyway for anybody.
You bet.
And what do? I give it to my producers on the program, and they come. Did you come to FOWA London?
I went to the Vegas one.
You went to the Vegas one,
had a
yes.
good
So you
time.
were
In there, we had a great conversation.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Talking about lots of stuff.
That's good to
But
see.
you joined as an executive producer. You got to come to that event. You saved
Definitely. I was
probably
like, why are you
1,000.
here? He's like, yeah, I'm executive. I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
nice.
and so if you would like to be either a fan of the show, super fan, producer, executive producer, and get on the back channel, the email list, where every day myself, Tyler, and 140 people are talking about startups, all the inside dope, all the little secrets, the tips, the tricks. Go to twistlist.co, sign up for $2 to $200 a month, and hey, get your name in lights and be part of the fun. And the best way to build a website, and I bet you've used Squarespace before is Squarespace. This is the best, most elegant way to build a website. I use it myself. Again, I said earlier about GoToMeeting. I'll only let somebody sponsor the show and support the show, really, if they make a beautiful, elegant, stable, delicious, buttery product, and that is Squarespace. It is delicious and buttery. You just spread that butter right there.
Delicious and buttery.
I'm telling you, I have a non-technical or semi-technical team on launch. They can edit the website, change the design, put up the new conference information, and it's fantastic. They use it every day, and if I say, hey, put this here, put that there, I don't have to call a web designer anymore. But it looks like I did call a web designer because it's so beautiful. Squarespace. Oh,
they weren't going to call it Butterspace.
They were going to call it Butterspace. 24-hour, 7-day-a-week support for creating beautiful, professional-looking websites.
And the guys behind it are legit. They've spoken at FOWA. I mean, impressive business.
And the designs. I mean, you're a design guy.
Go back and watch
Beautiful
that episode.
Designs.
It was a really good episode.
Yes, Anthony. He was sick on that episode, and he still brought it. It was like Michael Jordan dropping 55 points at Madison Square Garden when he came back from retirement and had the flu. Blogs, photo galleries, large, small businesses, fully featured iPad app. I could go on and on. Simply go there and sign up. Forward by email your receipt to contest@thisweekend.com. And I will give you one of the This Week in Startups bags. I only do this for one sponsor, one partner, and that's Squarespace. Show them the bags, everybody. Or I'll show them the bags. Here it is. Boom. This is a gorgeous bag. This has cost a decent penny to make. Look at that. Look at how subtle that is.
Nice.
Do you like that design?
Yep.
This Week in Startups. Perfect for a MacBook Air. And put your iPad in this little pocket. You can't buy this. You can only get it if you sign up for Squarespace right now. Thank you, Squarespace. Okay.
I think that'll fit up to a 17-inch, actually.
Well,
it's a nice bag. It's not overstated either.
No, I don't want to have like a big dorky logo and people feel like I'm using them as branding, you know? But it's a little subtle. If you come up close to it, you can see it and go, oh, you want to listen to This Week in Startups? Cool, me too. Neat bag. How'd you get it? Oh, I signed up for Squarespace. So, tell me about Treehouse. What is Treehouse? Why did you build it?
So the interesting thing about the name is that the name came from listening to This Week in Startups. So I'll tell that story, yeah. So, so we launched it as Think Vitamin membership.
I remember that.
And the reason why, and this...
I never liked that name.
This is, it's terrible, right? But the decision, and this is one
Well, how'd you come up with that name?
Well, every entrepreneur listening to the show will have this struggle, which is, if you have something that already has traffic, that has a brand, do you launch a product on the back of it and benefit from that? Or do you launch it as a proper new product?
Right.
And I said, well, thinkvitamin.com gets a lot of traffic and it's got credibility. Let's launch it as Think Vitamin membership. And launched it in August 2010, was profitable within 3-4 months. It was insane. Knew that, whoa, we're on to a winner here. And basically it was video training for web designers and developers. So you want to learn how to code or design, we'll show you how to do it.
But it was really well done.
Thanks. Yeah, and we have a studio, lights, beautiful cameras, like professional teachers.
Your designers are. We talked
and what
about
do you pay the teachers or something?
Oh, they're full-time staff.
Oh,
yeah,
fantastic.
They're full-time employees.
Great.
And design's important to us. Man. It's always been, at Carsonified we care about design.
Yeah.
So that was really working, and then at that point, ready to sell the events business. Worked on that acquisition for a while, and that happened. And then it was time to put the gas down, on Think Vitamin membership. And at that time, I was listening to This Week in Startups, and I can't remember who the guest was.
I'll probably remember. Tell me.
Yeah, it was a competitor to Gilt.
Hot
Look downtown.
Yes.
Hot Look, yeah.
And basically, you were talking about names.
Yeah.
And I was like, Think Vitamin membership is a name, right? I didn't swear.
Just saved himself $20.
Right.
It's good, yeah.
It's 10.
Well, it's just, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't pass that bar test. Like, what is it? And you're in a bar. What?
You're like, what? It's vitamins that make me have better brain power?
It's just, So I said, we need to pick a better name. And I was actually painting a wall listening to This Week in Startups. It's inevitable. We got to switch our name.
Right.
But what name are we going to choose? That has a Twitter handle, that has a decent URL, that makes sense, that isn't. So we did choose Level Up.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, it's great. But we got levelup.co.
Right.
Not
bad.
I paid $5,000 for it.
Great.
Which I thought it's a pretty good investment. I had Level Up on Twitter.
Great.
Right. So I was like, we're primed. It's a good name. It makes sense. And then
you don't have to have .com to have a successful business.
I don't think so. I mean,
it helps, but you don't have to.
No, I thought .co is pretty good. And then this company, and they're what are they called? They're like
someone came out with levelup.com on their.
They came up. No, they have a weird domain. It's not, but they branded themselves as Level Up. And
trademarks, copyrights,
yeah,
whatever.
and they had 15 million of investment, and I was like,
you're like, not gonna get a fight.
no, this is not gonna end well. It's just, and so I went to him and said, do you want to buy the Twitter handle, which I think is illegal. You're not supposed to sell Twitter handles.
And the .co.
Right.
Packaged together.
Yeah. So, and I said, you want it? Obviously, you should have at Level Up. You'd be crazy not. And he's like, yeah, we want it. And I was like, how about 10 grand? And he's like, how about 1,000? I was like, no.
How about no?
Yeah, well, I was like, you need it. You can't not have the Twitter handle. And he said no. And I still think he's crazy. So I still own that Level Up.
Right.
Anyway.
What you were going to do is you were going to sell consulting services as part of a package that included
What are you
Twitter
tweeting
handle.
out of that account
Well,
now?
that was tempting.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I was really tempted to be child.
Level Up. Yeah, sure.
Because everyone was tweeting about it.
Bestiality.
Yeah, something bad, right?
Yes.
But I decided not to do that. And then so the search was on for a name. And we ended up with Treehouse. And that was after a ton of debate. Like, what does a treehouse mean? Well, it's
place to play.
It's good memories. Yeah,
it's warm. It's cozy.
Very visual.
Yeah, love it.
Right. So
what a logo potential.
It's great, but we couldn't get treehouse.com.
No.
There's folks who have had it since like '82 or something, and I called them and said, I'd like to buy it, you know, and they basically said, listen, the CEO.
So which one did you get?
Teamtreehouse.com.
Okay.
Which you called yourself?
Yeah.
You didn't have Joe call.
I should have done.
Yeah.
With her British accent. Damn.
Yeah.
But I called.
And when you have the girl calls, it's like, I want to buy this for my boyfriend. It'd be a nice birthday gift or whatever.
Yeah, well, that's my take.
Yeah.
Well, look at that beautiful logo there. Isn't that a great logo? Ooh, there you go.
Oh, thank you.
Beautiful logo.
So
delicious.
And we just
design does matter.
They wanted $1 million for treehouse.com.
Wow.
Not gonna happen.
Which is actually a fair price. I mean,
that's a bit much.
No, it's not.
Well,
that's not $1 million domain is like half the number of words. I mean, tree or house, yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Tree house, that's a $25,000 to $50,000 name, best case.
Really?
Yes.
All right. Well, they're not going to sell it. The problem is they're too attached to it. So maybe someday when we're making
did you figure out what they are doing? What are they doing with it?
So it's some sort of enterprise software thing.
So if they did get Treehouse, right, for enterprise software,
right.
And then you had treehouse.com.
Maybe.
So you buy Get Treehouse and say, hey, I'll give you Get Treehouse.
Interesting, right.
You know,
maybe
or
I'll try
Go
that.
Treehouse. Or
but we decided it wasn't
Enterprise.
super important.
No, it's not that. I agree. It's not that important.
Teamtreehouse.com, it's kind of got a good feel.
Yeah.
But
especially with mobile apps and those kind of things coming out, like, you know, and Twitter handles, like, there's multiple ways for people to find you. Search is so simple.
But
did they have the Twitter as well?
No, but you got the Twitter. We got the Twitter handle.
So
but I actually bought it off of a company that hit the Deadpool. Again, I probably
look at this. Actually, no, don't worry about it.
So
say you trade a consulting. Look at this. It's interesting. I didn't know this, but Launch.is is #2 now for Launch.
Nice.
And Yahoo Music, which owns it, is
Are you
#1.
doing any SEO on that, or is that natural?
No, I think it's just because I write an editorial and I get 300 retweets or
that's kind
whatever.
of props to Squarespace as well, because that's a Squarespace blog.
Squarespace is very SEO built in. I don't do any SEO anymore. I'm over that. So if I join Treehouse, I will learn how to be a great web designer for how much a month?
Okay, so the choice is you come to the website and you click either I want to learn web design, web development, or iOS. And we're going to add Android.
So I pick one of those.
Yeah, you just say, I think I want to learn web design.
Are people paying for people that have those skills?
Oh my gosh. I think just a little bit.
So, so you pick that.
You pick that.
Get put into a track.
And immediately it points you to the first video and says, let's give you the landscape of what is web design. You know, okay, it's front-end development. Well, why are you doing coding if you're designing? Well, because of this. And these are the topics we're going to teach you and in what order. And then because people need help walking through it. So we're basically creating a syllabus. And we teach with video and then with code challenges and quizzes. So we teach you HTML and then you go and you have to pass a quiz or actually write HTML.
Right. So doing a quiz is all 100% computer, but writing code, there's different ways to interpret problems. Does that mean a human looks at it?
Nope. We have some pretty smart people. Basically, one of our developers, Jim, who's probably listening. Hey, Jim. Jim's actually building the code challenge tool. And that's the advantage of hiring amazing web professionals to teach, is that they can actually build product for Treehouse as well.
Right. You get like they're dual, they're double threats.
It's amazing.
They can appear on camera and they can build the product.
Exactly.
It's unbelievable.
So
and they can market it, the triple threats.
Yeah,
because they have credibility.
And they can write about it. So on thinkvitamin.com. And I think Brad Feld really hit this on the head when he said, the key to marketing is through thought leadership. And I think
the key to marketing is through thought leadership.
Right. And I believe that. I don't know what you guys think.
Well, I think I made a career of that, so yeah. I think I'm inclined to agree. No, I agree. I mean, it's people like, why do you write these editorials? And I'm like, if I didn't, then why would anybody invest in my companies or whatever? I mean, that happens to be, that would, other people have other things that make them thought leaders, but that's how I become a thought leader.
Spend time in building great content.
Yeah.
Show that you know what you're talking about.
Online presence.
And this is where the conference can fit into that. Throw a conference, be at the center of that.
Yes.
You know, break even or lose a little money, and all of a sudden you have this huge community.
And it could be 10 people or 20 people. It doesn't have to be 200 or 2,000.
No.
It doesn't have to be at the Ritz-Carlton.
No.
It could be at a bar. Yeah. You started in a bar.
I know, literally at a bar.
Degenerate,
you know, with the little
like
projector.
A degenerate conference with the
great.
sugary projector.
Yeah.
It was like a $200 beat-up projector I know.
So that's the key. And then, because as you guys know, like this, like meeting in person, touching each other.
Totally different level than online.
This is completely different. Yeah.
Yes.
And the kind of relationships
I can't wait. Now I'm excited for Friday.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, it's just exciting to do it. And I think all these things came together, thankfully, at the perfect time for Treehouse. So we are launching the product on November 7th. And we just thankfully secured a great round of investment, which is the first time I've ever done that. I'm a bootstrapper, right? Don't know anything about investment. I literally had to read, blog posts about, okay, what does this mean? What is convertible debt or, a priced equity round? And I don't know anything. You didn't know all that stuff? Nothing. I knew nothing.
So you got a lawyer?
Yeah. So we're working with Gunderson.
Oh, great.
They're great.
That's a good firm. Sure.
And that. So
how come there's no law firm sponsoring This Week in Startups? I know all these lawyer guys.
Great. They should pay good money for that.
Get Gunderson and get Wilson Sonsini. Get me a goddamn law firm. Jesus. Oh, wait a second. I think he does have a law firm. I think he was talking to somebody.
Yeah,
he does?
Starts next week.
Forget it.
Nice.
No, I did it already.
And having the right lawyer is key. So,
yes.
So we had.
Why is it key? Why?
So we had a firm that, because bizarrely we're based in Orlando. It's just kind of happened that way.
You don't live in Orlando.
No. But my team is there, and we have an office there. And so we got.
That's why you do that Future Webs in Miami. But you don't have to fight for talent down there, do you?
No, it's good and it's affordable, and we have a big 3,000 square foot office. We just moved into.
You live in there?
I'm not. No, I'm still in the UK. So I'm running the company entirely from Bath, UK, which is interesting.
Bizarre.
Another challenge. We do
How
a lot
do
of
your
Skyping.
investors feel about that?
Well, I think at some point we'll move to the States.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so the plan is.
Was that contingent when you raised the money?
No, I mean, and I'm not. And you guys, if you're listening, Kevin, Chamath, everybody.
Oh, Chamath invested?
Yeah.
Oh, Chamath's my boy.
He's
and Kevin
amazing.
Maybe I'll invest.
Come on. So I pitched you.
I gave you a blanket no because I'm giving everybody no because I don't feel like I can add value, but I don't know. Maybe I can add value just by tweeting once in a while. Are you going to be upset at me if I'm not like super responsive email? I'll tell you why I'm concerned because I got 3 out of 8 people on Angel List recommended me. That means 5 didn't.
We don't.
And the 5 people who didn't recommend me on Angel List, I'm really concerned about it. I'm devastated about it. I'm like, I know what this is. This is people I didn't get back to.
Right.
And it's impossible for me to get back to because there's 20
you shouldn't spread
requests coming on Angel List.
Yeah. I mean, we're lucky we don't need any more money. We only want to raise $350. We couldn't. It was way oversubscribed, and we raised $600, and it could have been millions. I mean.
All right, put me down for $10K as an advisor. Fine. I'll do it. Fine. I'm dead serious.
But all right, we'll talk. We'll do that.
No, do it right now.
All right.
10K, and then how many advisor shares does Kevin get? He always gets advisor shares.
We'll
Quarter
talk,
point or half point? No, we talk on the show. Give the crowd the goods. Let's do it right now. Here we go.
So, but no, first let me explain how I got you guys as investors, because I think people are watching the show, they're like, oh, well, that's great for you, but how did you get Mark Suster, Kevin Rose, Chamath, Greylock, Reid Hoffman, David?
Jesus.
How did you do that?
What did you do? Just go through the top 10 of Angel List?
No, so this is how I did it.
Hack Angel List and you pulled the money out of your bank accounts?
I haven't even signed up for Angel List.
Oh, okay.
So, and this is exactly
Who did you have first? Kevin. So Kevin's been your boy for a long time.
Kevin's been amazing.
On the shows,
yeah. So, but
you and Kevin have been tight for a long time.
What people can learn from this is that when I met
let Kevin do Dignation at his shows.
Yeah, but
your shows.
So I invited Kevin to speak at Future Web Apps San Francisco in 2006.
Wow.
And I didn't know him. I never met him. I sent off a prayer email to Dig, please.
2006, Dig was still on the way
up.
Big. So please pass this on to Kevin. We'd love for him to speak. And got a bite from their PR guy. Yeah, he might speak. He's read thinkvitamin.com. And he likes it. He had actually dug some of our stuff.
So you were in the game.
So I met him on stage. Oh my gosh, Kevin, nice to meet you. Yeah. And then we just hit it off. I mean, it's the type of thing where, and this comes down to the Dale Carnegie thing. Treat people like people.
Right.
Be interested in them. I mean, don't ask him, how can you help my company? Just ask him how he's doing. And so Kevin and I became good friends, and then I showed him ThinkFight a membership in Vegas at FOWA, and I wasn't asking him to invest.
Yeah.
Right. I just said, what do you think of the product?
It's good.
He's like, I love it. I want to invest. I was like,
whoa. Well, Kevin's been making some money. He bought $500,000 in Facebook shares that went up like 5x. So he's feeling flush right now. He got an extra $2-3 million laying around, I think.
He's successful. He's smart.
I think he said that publicly. He said he bought $1 million worth of shares.
He's been making some good investments.
Yeah, he's a smart guy, and he's
Foursquare and Gowalla.
He's super helpful. So as soon,
a million people on your Twitter account.
Right. But the thing, no, I mean about the personal time we spent together.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I talked to him for an hour at least just on the pitch to say, do you like the product? And he said, yep, I'm in. Bam. And at the end of that, and he said, and let me introduce you.
So he introduced you to Reed?
No, first to Chamath.
Oh, Chamath.
And
Chamath and I worked at AOL together.
He's really?
Yeah.
Back in, he was doing
we're both poker degenerates. I'm playing poker with him Friday night.
Right, yeah. So he's super smart, super connected. Wants to change the world, right? So I spent the phone. I called him, never spoken to him, and pitched him that he's like, I don't want to see a deck, just talk to me. Tell me what the product is. And we talked, and at the end, he's like, I want to give you as much as I possibly can. And I was like, sort of buzzing, going, this is cool. This is.
Meanwhile, you go like this.
Yeah. I might tell Jill, oh, he's in. And.
Well, I mean, he's also a big fish because you get him, you get everybody else.
And he's got a big fund.
Yeah, $500 million fund.
But it also means it's not luck anymore that these two guys both want it. And now you're like, wait a minute, how else wants it? Yeah.
Right. So
well, it is dominoes. So I'm not going to say it's luck, but if you do land somebody like Kevin, the value of Kevin as an investor, which is why Kevin can really, people who are getting Kevin as an investor should really double, triple him down, as an advisor or whatever, because Kevin putting in $25,000 is like a VC firm or a VC putting in $250.
Yeah.
Plus you're getting the product insight.
You get product insight. He's one of the top 10 product guys pound for pound.
Yeah.
He's right up there with Josh Hector, with Jack Dorsey, with Kevin, with with Evan Williams. I mean, he's up there in terms of product design. Dennis from Foursquare. But he's got the social footprint from doing the same thing guys like us have done for the last 10 years of promoting his Twitter account, his Google Plus account, his Facebook account, his podcasts. I mean, that's incredible. But his name will get you the other 10 names.
Right. So what he did is he basically emailed Chamath and David Z and Reed and said...
David at Greylock.
Yeah. And he said, I'm in.
And Greylock did both his companies.
Yep.
Revision 3 and
so
Dick.
he knows him, he trusts him. He emails and says, I'm in for this company. You guys should
It's like when I do it with Sequoia, basically.
Right.
Same thing happens a lot. Not all the time, but a lot of times I'll say I'm doing this Sequoia, and then they'll do it.
Right. So I think that's what people watching the show can learn from this, is that you have to do your time making friends and taking care of people. And then you can, when your moment is right, give them something of value and offer something that's real. And if they do it, then that opens up the door. And so he emailed all these people, and they said, I'll take a call, and called, and thankfully I made sense, and the product's good. And then from then, the one person I got without Kevin was Mark Suster.
Oh.
So, and I know that because the
host of This Week in Venture Capital and the blogger who does both sides.
He gave me a hard time, by the way. He's like, "Why are you on This Week in VC?" I'm like, "I'm sorry. Jason's a good friend. I chose him over you." He's like, "What?" But
Mark's a very good friend of mine,
so,
and he is just awesome, tremendous on This Week in Venture Capital.
Interesting point.
Oh, he's so smart.
Ryan and Mark are the two guys who've had the most influence on Squeal more than anybody.
Really?
By far.
Thank you.
By far.
Wow. Plug for Squeal there. Go ahead,
You like how I did that?
Squeal's
no, but I was waiting for this incredible insight, and all we get is a plug.
No, I'm just saying.
Are you really on strike about the insights? I mean,
I have an insight.
You do?
Drop some.
Wait, but we still
have 17 minutes.
All right, got it.
Okay, go ahead. And are you monitoring the chat room? If you have a question for Ryan about Carsonified and the FOWA conference and the huge sale that he just announced, about raising money or about launching a product or being awesome, any of those topics, go to chill.com or tweet with the #TWiST hashtag your question, and Tyler will read it. Okay, look for some questions.
Yeah.
Come on, that's your job here.
All right.
But I guess I just don't think people understand how much relationships are a part of success.
It's everything.
It is almost everything.
Treat people well.
Yeah. You got to work really, really hard, and you have to have a good product. But that's a given. Then after that, it's just about being real friends with people, not
You make it seem so
using
easy.
people. Well, I think you just have to care.
You never ask for any favors.
No.
But you do favors all the time.
You help people. I think it's...
That's my philosophy. I never
Yeah.
ask anybody for a favor, but I always try to do as many favors as I can for
Right.
people because it costs me nothing.
Right. Well,
Right?
and you have to be genuine, though, don't you? You can't.
Of course.
You can't be trying to work them and think, if I do
No.
a favor, then I'll get a favor. It's just,
No.
hey.
But you. So the thing is, you have, or you've had over the last decade, the ability to give favors for people.
Right.
So
With
you figured out.
conferences. Yeah.
I mean, so in truth,
Right.
you
True.
had a currency
Yeah.
that you
which
were
is
able
quite
to
valuable.
give
Right.
that also gave to you. So
Yeah.
you found, in a way, Tom Sawyer's fence, where you were like, hey, painting this fence is a lot of fun.
Totally.
Would you like to paint the fence with me?
Yeah.
And meanwhile, your fence is getting painted, and those people are having a fun time.
Exactly, and
that was
that's
brilliant.
Well, it wasn't on purpose. I mean, it just happened, you
no.
know. But and I think that's how we got the Chirp conference. So we produced the Chirp conference for Twitter, which was crazy. I
Yeah,
mean,
how did you get that deal?
Well,
was that Ev
they
or
contacted
Biz?
us.
Oh, and they said, hey,
So,
we want to make a... Because
Doug-
Ev had spoken at the event, or
Yep,
Biz?
he spoke at 06, and he spoke about how the mistakes he had made on Odeo.
Odeo, sure. Disaster.
And then he was sort of saying, and these are the things we're going to apply to Twitter, and we were all sort of snickering, going, Twitter's kind of dumb. You know?
Yeah, I told him
Because in
straight up,
06
like,
it
that's
was dumb.
Yeah.
You know, no,
I was like, wow, you took the blog post out of blog posting.
yeah, I know. And
Where's
none
the post? It's just
none
the
of us
headline.
understood it, right? But it worked out.
Yeah.
But I knew Ev through that, and then Doug Bowman, who's an amazing
the designer.
yeah. So he DM'd me and said, hey, this is another thing I've learned.
Did Bowman work for Twitter, or did he work for
He worked for Google.
Google. And
Oh,
then went to-
Google.
And then Twitter recruited him. He's the guy that blogged about the 6,000 Shades of Blue at Google.
He was the one who was really upset at Marissa about that blue thing.
Yeah.
Shades of Blue.
And that was like...
And
you
he's
have-
like, I'm done here. I
Yeah, you have Marissa, who is this amazing product person, but who is a engineer product person.
Yeah,
and
and
then you
he-
have a pure designer who's like... And you know what's interesting about his fight with them? Is that now with Google Plus and the black bar at the top, it seems like Google is taking
I know.
his rant and taking it to heart and saying,
I
hey,
know.
let's do
Well,
some
he was-
design for design's
he
sake,
was right.
not just for pixel sake.
No.
I
But
wonder if they admitted.
Probably. No. I mean, no one. Does anyone speak at Google? I don't
Oh, right,
know.
Google's not allowed to speak to the public.
No, but this is the other key thing I learned is that if you do creative, fun projects,
Yeah.
so we have something called Idea Week, and also we only work a 4-day week, which is cool.
What the? How do you
take
get stuff
Mondays
done?
off?
Does that mean you
Fridays.
pay people
Friday.
80%? And
No, we pay 100%.
But you have 4-day weeks.
Yeah,
And they
4-day
work from home the 5th day, or they don't work?
No work. You do not work Fridays. It's
The
closed.
best thing ever.
9 to 6 normal
Why do you got to
hours.
do this kind of
Yeah,
stuff?
yeah, awesome.
I'm trying to run a business here. I'm going to walk out of the studio. Hey, how come we don't run?
Why do we work
you know,
4-day
Carson,
week?
you got to do a 4-day week.
It works for us. It's hard. I mean, it's busy, but it works. So we work a 4-day
Does that mean
week.
everybody works 12 hours a day
No,
and they're
9
here to dinner?
9 to 6.
You know,
And it works out.
You know how I do it? We are...
Crack the whip.
No, we're on a 50-hour week here.
Right.
Literally, we pay everybody on a 50-hour
Oh,
week
right.
in my company. You know why? I don't want anybody ever saying like, I'm not getting paid. It's like, you actually work a 50-hour week.
We'll
So if
pay
you
you
work
for that.
45, we're actually paying you.
Right. Fair
You
enough.
know?
That's good. But I think.
But anyway, both strategies can work.
Right. I think people at our company still work just as hard, and they probably do work.
Is that what it is? It's a little bit of a game? Like they'll work that Friday anyway?
No. Like I definitely encourage them not to be working. The idea, the whole.
Because they need time off.
Yeah. The thing
to
is, like,
process
you need
creative
a
people.
life. Like you need to have hobbies. You need to spend time with your family. So.
Well, for designers and stuff like that, yes, because they have to have that off time
Right.
in order to refresh.
I think so. And
They can't be teaching 5 days a week.
No, but we do this thing called Idea Week, and Idea Week is where the entire office shuts down, and we come up with an idea, and it could be anything, and everybody works on it. So we came up with an idea called Hello App, and Hello App was, hopefully it's still up. It basically was like Foursquare, but for conference seats. And you could check in at a conference. You would see a map of the seats, and you could check in.
HelloApp.com?
No, just if you search for Hello App or twitter.com/.
APP?
Yep. I
There's a
think
Twitter
it's
account.
twitter.com/Hello App. So you use Twitter to check into a seat. It was fun. And then you could see this heat map, like around you, how many followers do people have? Oh, that guy's got lots. I'm going to go talk to him.
Interesting. Oh.
But this got us on Twitter's radar. And that's the key to doing stuff and getting on people's radar is take a little bit of time to do
Make them feel you.
Well, just do something creative that's interesting. And so Doug DM'd me and said, hey, the guys here have noticed this Hello App thing. They want to talk to you about something. And then they said, we want you to
They never
pitch
did it
for
again,
Chirp.
or they did it themselves. They did Chirp again.
They're just too busy.
Yeah, they were.
I mean,
Twitter's a
busy.
mess.
They were-
They've
it's
really
kinda crazy.
They've kind of screwed up their whole developer channel.
They
got rid of some key people recently, and I don't want to say their names because I don't know if it's public, but it's just the stuff's going on, and I'm like, oh, what's...
Yeah.
I mean, Ryan Sarver and Doug, and there's a couple good guys there, definitely, but...
No, this is what happens when companies become big, the original creative people go, and then it becomes a scale company. So it's like they rip the soul out of Twitter, and so Twitter, to me, is going to be Jack, Ev, and Biz for a period, and then you're going to see their 100% vision get whittled down every quarter. 2 or 3% of their vision will go until it's 50% of their vision, and then it's up to Dick to find people to build another vision or to collaborate. Dick's a great guy, smart guy, but this is when you gut the founding team and then you get Fred Wilson and Bijan off the board. I mean, Bijan is an up-and-comer, but Fred Wilson's the man.
But surely they left.
Well, I don't.
Well,
listen, whatever happens, and Dick Costollo is friends with Fred. Fred was his guy, F.E. Burner. What is the story? I want to know what happened. But how did Fred and Fred and Dick have a falling out? Did they sell all their shares because they don't believe that it's going to be worth more than $8 or $9 billion? So they figured, hey, I'll just take the money now.
Well, yeah, you think. I mean,
that's a vote of no confidence in Dick Costollo.
But Union
and why would Fred and Bijan have a vote of no confidence in the guy who they put in? And they fought to put in, and who they invested in his last company. It makes no sense. I want to know the answer to this. Will somebody send me the answer to this question?
Right. I don't know. I mean, Dick's super smart. Fred's super smart. I have the feeling, what if Union Square just want to get their money out? I mean, think about how much money they made on that.
That's true. They did make a ton.
At Future Web Apps Miami.
They invested at a $30 or $40 million, maybe a $40 million valuation. They probably own 10 or 20%.
And it was literally Fred
they made
and his credit card
they made $1 billion.
Up Twitter. Yeah. I mean, so Blaine Cook was speaking at Future Web Apps.
They probably
Miami,
made $1 billion.
And it went down. And he gets a call saying, I got to get the site back up. And I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, yeah, whenever we run out of money, we just ask Fred for his credit card. And so that's back then how integral he was.
Let's take some questions. Tyler, any questions there?
Yeah, there was a couple.
Okay, let's hear this. If you're in the chill.com chat room, put your question in, put a Q in the front of it. So
first quick question from Asher.
Yes.
Is there going to be another FOWA Vegas?
Heck yeah. So the next one's going to be big.
Oh, really? Now, who's the company who bought it?
Last one was pretty big.
Can you say who bought it yet?
Yeah, yep. They're a company based in Boston. They're called Wellesley, and they're great. They're going to bring more excitement to the shows. So the next show is going to be a combination of future web apps, future web design, and future mobile. It's going to have like 5 tracks. It's going to be
big,
amazing.
So they love the brand, and they think they can build it.
Yeah, they're smart.
Are you still going to be involved in it? Are you going to go to it?
Oh yeah, I'm hosting it.
Oh, you're still hosting it?
Yeah.
how long do you stay on to host it? Do they give you like an earn out or something?
Yep, it was a year.
1 year. So you got to host it now. Then they could say, hey, will you continue to host, and you just negotiate a year from now?
Right. You will negotiate. I mean, I want to go to the shows. I mean, it's going to be a ton of fun.
If Wesley is tuning in, as long as Carson's involved, you still have me involved.
Right. Nice.
I still use. But if he's not involved, then we got to discuss it. I'll come to 2 more.
Yeah, nice.
2 more.
But it's going to be fun.
I like this question from Design 006. Are you interested in VC or angel investing? I think he means angel investing.
Me.
Yes.
As in you becoming an angel. Yeah. We see Mike Arrington's become one. Kevin Rose became an angel.
My version of that question would be, if you were to be angel investing, what would you be interested in?
Right. Because no, I'm not going to do investing.
Right.
I want to focus 100%.
Why not?
I want to focus 100% on Treehouse. It's exactly what you're saying. You want to focus on Mahalo this weekend.
Yeah.
I can't be focusing on other people's problems if I'm going to be a CEO of a growing company. Right?
It's hard. It's hard to do both.
But if I was,
I would invest in things like Dribbble.
Dribble.
I love Dribbble.
Dribble's amazing. I would invest in
with 3 Bs or whatever it is.
3 Bs. There's another product that just came out.
With the misspellings, my God!
That is basically GitHub but for designers, and you upload Photoshop. And he's gonna kill me. I can't remember the name. It's really cool. A guy came to FOWA.
Oh yeah, Dribbble is showing tough for creatives. I've seen this. This is really
Dribble's
gorgeous.
Great. Forest is really interesting as well. FORRST.
Wait. There's another misspell one. FORRST.
Yep.
ST.
It's another great
Without
product.
the E. Drop the E.
Those are 2 things
what is Forest?
I use
a
a lot
community of passionate developers and designers focused on helping themselves and others get better at their craft, providing thoughtful critiques, and sharing. So it's like
it's a community for designers and developers. And how about Browser Stack? Pull up Browser Stack. If I had the money to either acquire this company or invest, I would do it. I mean, it's basically browser testing right in the browser.
Yeah, a lot of people have this.
This
is testing, not viewing.
Yeah.
Like you used to be able to view.
No, this is testing.
Oh.
It's basically they fire up a virtual instance right in the browser.
I like all these.
It's amazing. So yeah, I'd invest in that. But I'm not super wealthy now. It's not like I just walk around with money in my pocket ready to invest.
So anyway, it's better for you to do that way. Okay, let's take another question.
Give me a minute here. Some of these are not real questions.
All right, let's do the Ask Jason. Let's get that out of the way. We got a very important Ask Jason. I think we have a graphic for Ask Jason. We have a graphic for Ask Jason? Maybe we don't. We used to have a graphic. We don't have it now. That's okay. Let's just get the caller on the line. How about that? Let's just get our caller on the line for Ask Jason. His name is Rich. Rich, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
He's there. Oh, hey, Rich, how are you? Yes, we can hear you. Okay, Rich, you called Ask Jason. You have a question. Give us a concise question for Ryan, myself, and Tyler to answer.
Okay, sure. First, let me tell you about my startup, BigStove. We connect food lovers to chefs and culinary artisans. We're basically seamless web for indie chefs. So we're an online platform where chefs can create pop-up restaurants and meal delivery services. And food lovers can discover and connect with these chefs through BigStove.
Yeah, okay, I see it. I got it pulled up right here. Gorgeous looking, great brand name. I'm hungry. I want to subscribe to BigStove's weekly email alert. I'm a chef. I want to create a pop-up restaurant and offer a meal delivery takeout service. So what happens with BigStove is, I'm a chef. I decide I want to create Coco Vin, and I have the Coco Vin Cafe, and I just, out of my house, decide I'm going to make 50 orders, and then people can buy it and come and pick it up?
Technically, it's not at a house. We just want to deal with professional chefs. A lot of chefs have either are personal chefs or private chefs, or they own their own catering business, and they have access to the commercial kitchen. Also, they could be existing chefs at another restaurant where they just want to build their own brand. So it's kind of like a way for them to start up small, do their own little lean startup version of a food business, and then this is how we help them.
Interesting. So how does it technically work? I'm looking at the video here, but I still don't understand. The chef makes a bunch of food, and then we all go pick it up on that day?
So if they have access to like a dining room, then they basically host a pop-up restaurant, or we help them find a restaurant that would be willing to accommodate them.
I love this idea.
Thanks.
Yeah.
And if they want to just do delivery or takeout, then we also help them find people who are interested in discovering their food. And also we've been starting to work with small offices around the area, like startup offices, and who want to do catering for their office.
That's great. We've seen 2 of these kind of startups before. One of them was from the Paris meetup, where if you had extra dishes, you could sell them. I forgot the name of that. Carolyn, look it up.
That was Super Marmite.
What was it?
Super Marmite.
Super Marmite, right. You could Super Marmite, and then there was another one we saw, which was you could say you want this dish. A chef will then bid on it, and then you make it and they deliver it. And I think that was on the show as well. I forgot the name of that one.
The Paris meetup was good. I listened to that.
Oh, Paris was
great.
Excited over that. They're very excited. So anyway, you have this great startup. You built this. Yeah. What's your question for us?
So the question is, we're a small bootstrap startup. Recently, we got a cease and desist letter from a larger, more established startup that's in the food business, and they basically are claiming that we're infringing on their trademark based on our name.
Ooh. Big stuff.
So they asked us, to stop using our name, and we don't have the money to kind of have a lawyer fight it for us. So we're just wondering what are our options.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Okay, so wait a second. So now Big Oven, which is recipe software, thinks that BigStove is too confusing.
Come on.
So let's go through a little exercise here. Okay, and you have to calm down, because this is part of being in a business. Okay, you're a little bit panicked. Yeah. Don't worry. Worst case scenario, you change the name. Worst case scenario, they sue you, you shut the company down, and you start over tomorrow with a better name. So never worry, and never tell anybody you're not willing to fight like a dog to the end, because that's a tell. Anyway, that's just a precursor. Now, there's an exercise you have to do when it comes to this kind of legal situation. This is my test, which is I put myself in their shoes. So let's imagine for a minute you created Big Oven. You invested $1 million in building the startup, and you see BigStove come out. How do you feel as the CEO of Big Oven about BigStove?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I would think possibly, they're trying to ride on my coattails. I'd have to protect my brand, so I can see, where they're coming from, definitely.
So you feel that there could be potentially some confusion, and you would not be happy if you were in charge of Big Oven.
Right, and so that's why I reached out and just to talk to the CEO in person. the first request, he basically said he wants me to respond to his lawyer's letter, which I did. And now yesterday I asked for another meeting to see if we can actually just meet in person and figure this out without getting lawyers involved.
Yeah, so that's exactly the wrong thing to do.
No.
Huge mistake.
Really?
Because you're showing that you're panicked, and you're showing that you're weak, and you don't want to show that in a legal situation. The way I handle these things is, if I feel like I want to fight for it, I just say nothing and let them file their lawsuit, which is an expensive process. You basically take their letter, you rip it up, you throw it away. Because if they're serious, they're going to write they're going to file a lawsuit, which they're not going to do in this case, I don't think. So they're trying to intimidate you a little bit. Now, they do have a little bit of a point. Big oven, big stove, it is a little bit confusing. I could see people being confused.
Is a stove and an oven actually the same thing?
Absolutely.
A stove is the thing on top.
That's right. The oven thing on the exactly right. That's my point.
Well, they're both the cooking devices, and if you said to somebody, if I said to somebody, turn the oven off, if I said to you, turn the oven off or turn the stove off,
the stove
and we were in the
on
kitchen,
top.
you would go over to the same device.
Right.
Anyway, the point is, it's very close. They're not going to win, frankly, because they would have to prove confusion, and they would never go to the mat for it. So then what you have to decide is, how important is the name to you?
Right.
And I don't know that BigStove is necessarily the best name. It's a good name.
This is what happened with Level Up. I mean, we had to abandon our name.
And so you have to decide,
just
do you want to get in a big protracted fight over it? What I would do probably is ignore it and tell the person, if you feel so strongly about it, file. Let them file, and then you can fold then. So you've basically said to them, you've basically called their bluff.
Smart.
That's the way I like to play poker, which is, no, I'm talk to my lawyer, and then or this is what I like to do. I call up their lawyer, and I ask them, so tell me, what is your client's concern? And then they talk for 10 minutes, and then I say, I'm not sure I understand it completely, and then I ask another question, and then I ask another question. Now I'm running up their legal bill. And then I say, you know what, I have to go right now, but can I do another call with you? Or you email them and say, I don't understand the concern. Or, well, how is it different? And you just keep ringing up their legal bill. And then if they want to be legal tough guys, hey, maybe and then they'll slow down a little bit when they get their $3,000 legal bill. But anyway, I would just ignore until the time it's filed.
You know what this is like?
What is it like, Tyler?
It's like a creationist that gets a flu shot every year.
Ooh.
Inside from Thailand.
I like it. That's brilliant.
It's like a creationist, somebody who believes in God created everything, no evolution, getting a flu shot. So if you are a creationist, you don't believe in science, you don't believe in that, so why would you get a flu shot? Is that right?
No.
Okay, let me explain it. Explain to me
Explain, please.
Yeah, because none of us understand.
Creationist
Right.
doesn't believe in things evolving,
No.
right?
Right, so why should you evolve?
The flu, the reason you have to get a flu shot is because the flu evolved since last year.
Now it's clear to us what Tyler means. See, it's not always clear, Carson.
No,
Carson, how would Carson handle this?
I would do. First of all, I would abandon the name unless it's really important. But only.
Because you feel why? Why would you abandon it?
The names aren't that important. I mean, they are important, but not.
There's enough good ones out there.
Yeah, especially if you. I mean, I didn't hear it. Has he launched yet?
Have you launched?
Yeah, we've launched.
Yeah. What was this, like a weekend project, or is this a venture-backed company?
This was a startup weekend project last year, and then I quit full-time earlier this year. And so
right. I mean, it matters. I think I would do exactly what Jason said. Have their lawyers talk to your lawyers. Put up the front that you're going to fight them for a little while, and if they really are, hardcore about it, come on. I mean, the product matters. That you can find
ultimately the product is what will win, not the name of the company.
Yeah, I mean the name, just make it not stupid, as long as it's not dumb.
Yeah, that's
then
true.
It's
and dumb
okay.
names like Dell.Ishia.us won. I mean, they had a terrible name until they got the actual delicious.com domain 2 years later. Yeah, it's a tough situation. But you know what? Don't be rattled.
Yeah.
You got to be a little bit of a warrior, thick skin as an entrepreneur. Never worry. They can't touch you. They can't take your money unless you're doing something felonious. But it's not like you're committing a felony and doing fraud, are you?
Right. No, we're not.
No, you're not
That's good.
stealing from your company. You didn't rob somebody. You didn't steal You didn't hack into the person's email account, get their ideas for a domain list, and then buy them before them and snap them up. That would be felonious behavior. That would be seriously bad. That's criminal. But in this case, no harm, no foul.
Yeah.
People are going to bump into each other in business once in a while. And you know what? You're showing too much concern. If this was me and you, oh man, I would be like, I'm going to destroy you. I would just be piling on because you show so much weakness. I would destroy you. I would send you 5 legal letters. I would tell you I'm coming up to your house, even though it's not possible for me to come up to your house. You know, I'd be like, you're dead. I'm gonna burn your house to the ground. I'm gonna kill your family. I'm gonna spit on your grave. I would be going crazy because you're calling me to show your weakness. Like, oh, I don't know what it's a similar name. I could see where you're coming from. Like, that's it. Forget it. You've already shown that you have deuce 7 in your hand, and the board's ace king 10, and you've got deuce 7. You're out of luck. Hands over. Move on. You lost this one, kid. Time for a new name. You've already shown too much weakness. But anyway, move on. And you know what? If you build a relationship with this guy, he's got all those recipes, I bet you there's a business development deal to be done here. If he's successful, I bet you...
That's why I just wanted to meet with him to see if, he's an entrepreneur too. And I figured he'd actually, wanted to talk to me about stuff like that. But
yeah.
So far,
what I would do is, and I've done this with people, I've said, with legal situations, I've said, if you want to talk about it, give me a call. If you don't, I understand, we'll talk to the lawyers.
Right.
And that's it. One sentence. And then no communication. 0. Period.
This is a good example how there's always going to be a problem. No matter where you're at for a startup, there's going to be something.
Always
this
problems.
is your current problem. As soon as you fix it, you'll have a new one.
Yeah, then you're going to have a landlord who won't fix the air conditioner like the D-bag landlord I had. Or he's going to send you a lease. My God, the current landlord I have, he sends me a lease.
Really?
Sends me the lease. Then, as we're about to sign the lease or considering signing it, he changes the terms on the lease.
Right.
I talked to my broker. I talked to everybody involved. They're like, no, he said that's the final lease. He sent it. He goes, well, no, actually, I didn't say that. You see it says draft on the lease? I'm like, yeah, but all the numbers are in it, and we have all these emails back and forth. He's like, yeah, whatever. I'm like, so then I CC his boss and the boss of the other broker, and I'm like, okay, so who's lying?
Right. Wow.
And then I just keep torturing them over and over again. But I'm like, my God, who would ever use... What's the name of this guy? I forgot his name. I should call out his name on the air. I can't remember his name.
You got future episodes, dude.
I'll do it in the future episode. But this guy was such a D-bag. And then you know what I just said? I said, you know what? Screw it. I'll find another place. Found another place. And then I didn't tell him that I was signing the other lease until the last possible minute because I was like, I'm just going to wait till maybe he'll come back with a better deal.
Right.
So then I was like, hey, call me. I'll talk about the lease. Call. I put him to voicemail.
So isn't that directly opposite of what you said is important about business?
What's that, personal?
Yeah.
Yeah, being a lying...
Take care of people?
Yeah, being a lying D-bag, that would be the opposite of taking care of people.
Right. And you're returning the favor, aren't you?
Oh, yes, I am.
All right.
Oh, listen, hey. Business is personal, and the counter to that is, hey, I'm loyal.
Right.
But if you F with me, it's on. Like a Donkey Kong forever.
Right, fair enough.
I would never forget. Never.
Right.
I will never forgive Mike Arrington, ever, for stealing my conference out from under me.
Fair enough.
Anybody asks me about Mike Arrington, I will tell them the truth.
Right.
I mean, I have kind of like stopped on the public, like, I'm going to attack Mike, but I'll never forget that. You steal from somebody? I mean, that's like unforgivable. Yeah. Until he makes right.
Right.
Which is his choice to do, which he won't because he's a piece of garbage. But,
but moving on.
I don't have an opinion about it. He's not an investor. Crunch Fund?
No. Yeah, no, we actually had considered them, but I think he's too much of a liability at the moment.
You think? I mean, look how he treated AOL.
Well, he's spoken on our shows a number of times, and I never knew what I was going to get. Are you going to show up on time? Are you not? Are you going to be there? Are you going to?
No, he canceled on so many people for
these
events.
He always showed up, but he was late one time, and
He didn't show up at some of his own events.
Malik was sitting on stage by himself because they were supposed to have a conversation, and he was in bed. Apparently,
Mike is not a classy guy.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
And he did that to a lot of conference organizers. And you know what? If you did that to him, he would annihilate you on TechCrunch and then find personal information about you and try to destroy you. Meanwhile, he'll just blow off a conference. He'll tell people the morning of, which he already did to Lauren. He was the headliner of Lauren's event. That's why Lauren Feldman and him had a fallout. Right. He called Lauren the day of and said, I'm not coming to your event. He said, I sold tickets with you as the keynote. He's like, yeah, my dog is sick.
Right.
You know, I can't get Heather to watch it. That's the opposite of being a quality person. And you know what? I think that's what's going to happen. I mean, listen, he's got big influence, so people are going to take his money, and people need money. But if you're taking somebody's money, you have to think about, if this guy got in a fight with Jason, he got in a fight with the Crunchbad people, he tried to destroy Katarina Fake, he was a wonderful, beautiful person, nice person, very smart, intelligent, and then he made Tim Armstrong look like an idiot.
Right.
And attacked Ariana Huffington, and then attacked Eric Schoenfeld, his own editor, on the way out.
Right.
And did a scorched earth process for TechCrunch. What if he doesn't like something you do, like you don't sell to the person he wants you to sell the company to,
that's the
and then he does scorched earth on your company.
Yeah.
Now you've got Mike Arrington owns stock in your company, is trying to destroy you.
So, but I will say that the one guy that's really, really good there is MG. MG Sigler
everybody
is
loves MG, but
quality guy.
Yeah,
You know,
I tried to hire MG 20 times for launch. I love MG.
So I just want to put my flag in the
Absolutely,
ground.
MG's great,
quality.
and yeah. So then you got to figure: am I going to get MG or am I going to get Arrington as my person?
Yeah.
And if you get Arrington, what if Arrington has a bad day and decides he wants to decimate your company that day, like he's done to so many other startups?
And that's why we didn't talk to him.
Yeah,
You know?
it's radioactive. Okay, so anyway, Rich, no big deal. Don't sweat it.
Gotcha.
You are a big boy now. You're creating startup companies. Don't sweat it. You're going to get letters all the time. 9 times out of 10, it's not 99 times out of 100 actually. It's not going to result in any legal action. Lawyers are what people do when they're frustrated, immature, and it's or it's like 1% of the time it's a very serious situation to have a valid thing. Like this guy is, I don't even know why he's pursuing it. I mean, he spending money to pursue this when it's, I don't think a reasonable person's going to be confused, to be honest. And when all of us heard it, we're like, yeah, that's not a big deal for two startups that have the names that close. I mean, if it was Apple versus Google and they both launched a new phone called the iPhone, you know, or the ePhone or the Phone I, maybe there would be something, but you can have, this is not a case of exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
Is it in your mind?
No.
You would never, if somebody created Treehouse, let me try to think of a parallel. If I created My Treehouse, and it was a startup where you could put all your educational videos into a locker.
Right.
Would you be concerned? Would you call your lawyers?
Probably.
You would?
Well,
My Treehouse, it's not like if they're providing education. They just want, it's a place for you to bookmark.
It depends how much time I have. You know, if
you're not going to even take the time.
If we're wildly profitable, I have nothing to do except for chase people around the web.
Have you gone and looked for people using the Treehouse name to attack them?
I Googled it once to make sure that it was all right.
Yeah.
And that's
So
all you
anyway,
do.
yeah.
Focus on the product. You got just focus
I mean,
on
this
the
is just
product.
not. You have bigger fish to fry. The big fish you have to fry is you got to get me to use your product and
make
love
money.
it. Have people used the product? Have they loved it?
Yeah, we've done a few events in Seattle. That's where we're based, and we're planning to do a few more in Chicago and New York, actually.
How much do these chefs charge to go to one of these pop-up restaurants? Is it prefixed?
One of them was $45 a head, and the other one was more of a takeout thing. That was $8. So it's kind of both.
Do these folks, these chefs, have an issue with like the legality of doing this? Like, if I do it, can I do it at my house or no? Can I charge people $50 to come to my house?
This is usually at a venue where it's like a restaurant, like they just rent out the restaurant for a night, or it's maybe like a farmer's market or something like that where people can show up and pick up. We actually did one event at our office, believe it or not. We made our office like a takeout spot, so we went and grabbed the.
All right, let's come up with a new name right now. Everybody think for a second.
There's some really good names in the chat room here, actually.
Yeah, I'm gonna think of a name right now.
I showed Carson one that I think you would agree was a really good name.
Yeah, it was great.
I was checking the domain. I think it's available. So you can talk to me after
That's all right.
the show.
He'll buy it on the spot, or if anybody's in the audience, they'll buy it and give it to him because we have loyal customers, readers and fans. So it's food. It's a pop-up restaurant. You're enabling chefs. How about Better Oven? Or
There's so many just names. I honestly don't think it's that important.
No.
Well, there's another thing. We spend a lot of money on marketing material.
How about instant?
So like we got this thing and the shirts, and so it's kind of annoying to have to we're a small bootstrap startup. We don't have that much funds to spend on this type of stuff again. We want to spend it on building the business and our product, right? So to have to redo all this is kind of annoying and frustrating.
Hey, everything's annoying and frustrating in a startup.
Yeah.
I mean, what's
welcome
not
to entrepreneurship. All right. We'll go in the chat room. Everybody will help you get a great domain name. Hey, maybe even a .co.
Right.
Former sponsor of the program. Well, that's rich. Hey, thank you to GoToMeeting and Squarespace for sponsoring the show and for most importantly, building beautiful, great, solid, reliable products that I use, Tyler uses. And thanks to my executive producer, Jeff, for coming in. How you doing?
Good.
Yeah, happen to be in town. And you know that if you're one of the producers or executive producers, you have to come in and just sit in on the show, which is always great. We do wand them for weapons, though. Before did they frisk you before you came in? Yes. Say yes. Say yes.
He got by.
He got by. Tyler, thank you for an insight. That was wonderful. And do we have? Is this week in web design coming up right after me?
Which is a good show. I listen to.
Oh, is it doing well, Jose? Yeah, Jose is a really good host.
Jose is a great host.
He's really developing as a host, and that's really why we have these 10 commandments here. Is because we have all these great expert hosts, but we really need to give them the best practices that are working around the network. So let me read you another one. Start strong. Ask the guest a question that starts a conversation in the first 5 minutes, which we tried to do with you, and we think we did it. Offer our disciples, audience, specific actionable advice that they can implement immediately into their lives and work. I think we did that during this program.
I tried.
Showeth, not telleth. Words are weak, actions are strong. We did that, and we showed some stuff. Challenge thine guests. If they dare to bulleth shiteth thee, call them on said bull shiteth. That doesn't count. Ask questions that lead to real insights. I think we did that okay, right?
Tried.
Summarize information for our audience. The role of our experts, our hosts, is to condense and interpret complex concepts into information that people can consume and implement for their betterment. I like that. Set 6 questions that each episode must answer. I didn't do that. But I'm a professional. I'm a professional host. I've been doing 197 episodes. I can wing it.
Right.
Jose should not be winging it.
We have 3 more episodes till 200.
We have to do something. Let's have a party.
That is amazing.
It's crazy.
Crazy. I remember listening to the first couple.
You know Tyler's my best friend. I just decided today that I'm my best friend.
Nice.
You want to be best friends? We should be best friends.
Best friends
One
forever.
of those heart
I
locket
think we
things.
should be best friends. Should we do something like a best friend thing?
On the show, you mean?
It's got to be something we could
On
do.
the 200 show.
We should do like something that best friends would do. I don't know what best friends should do. Maybe we should go on vacation together.
We're going to, we're going to London.
Oh yeah, then we're going to go to Paris. We take the tube to Paris. Hey, are you going to come to your event that you're hosting?
Yeah, I'll be there.
You'll be there?
Yeah.
You want to come on the tube with us to Paris the next day?
Sounds fun.
We're going to literally on the next
We're
day.
doing a Paris meetup.
The Eurostar, not the tube.
The Eurostar, that's what I mean. We're going to take the Eurostar
Tube
to
would just take
Paris,
you around London.
and then we're going to go to the Louvre. Just look at it. We're going to do Eurostar. This is going to be a very romantic.
Paris is amazing.
We're going to go to the Louvre.
Ride the bikes.
We're going to go to the Louvre. Those are cool too. Go to the Louvre, and we're going to see Venus de Milo.
Nice.
Which I always go see her. She's my girl. I have a very deep relationship with Venus de Milo. I'll talk to you about it after the show. It's kind of weird, actually. Then we'll go to the hot chocolate place across from the Louvre. You know that place?
Yeah.
What's the name of the hot chocolate place across from the Louvre? Somebody look up my GoWalla. But
Paris is amazing.
But they make the hot chocolate that you pour, and it's like thick. Then we'll do a long walk to, what's the other museum that we went to with the modern art that we loved? Remember with Jade?
Oh, man, my wife would know this.
D'Orsay?
Yeah.
Musée d'Orsay. We'll go to d'Orsay. Then, that's a good walk.
Yeah.
Then we'll walk around, and I'll take you to my favorite place, Poule au Pot, which is a 100-year-old chicken restaurant, and we'll get chicken dinner. All on Jason.
Hot with 100-year-old chickens.
No, they've been making chicken for 100 years, but it is incredible. Within the first 60 seconds, establish a reason for our audience to be here. I think we did that well. Demonstrate the value, demonstrate our wisdom. We have experts here that nobody else anywhere for any amount of money does, except for Treehouse. They get that for free. And you charge, we're free.
Right.
Every week. This is value. This is our reason d'etre. French, see that? For information on the consequences of failing to abide by these commandments, see the reverse side of this tablet.
I get it.
And there's a samurai at the bottom.
That's awesome.
love this kid, Sam.
That's awesome.
I love a dorky, enthusiastic, like
That's
hardworking
awesome.
kid. Because everybody's like, oh, it's like dorky to be so enthusiastic. No, it's not. I need enthusiasm.
Yeah, hard
I'm
work.
old. It's hard for me to get enthusiastic.
I would agree with that. I think you're pretty
I'm pretty enthusiastic.
yeah.
I am. I'm so excited about Friday's event. How long are you in town for? When are you going back?
I'm going to San Francisco now.
Oh, and then how long are you in San Francisco for?
2 nights and then back to the UK. Hey, when you have a
You'll be
family,
around Wednesday and Thursday night? In the town? You got a
in
dinner
San Francisco. I'm at Greylock for a bit, and then I'm not sure where I'm at.
Oh, I'm going to be there Wednesday because I'm going to a meeting at
Thursday we'll be
Sequoia.
up there.
What?
I'm gonna be up there Wednesday, Thursday, Friday because I got the tablet event on Friday. If you want to stick around.
Nice.
And then Wednesday and Thursday, I gotta prepare all the companies to present on Thursday with Tyler.
Right.
And then Wednesday, I got a Sequoia meeting, and that'll be around Wednesday, Thursday night. And then we'll grab dinner.
Yeah. I mean, you know how it is. As soon as you have
Tyler
family, you got to keep
you
your
are
trip
my
short.
best friend.
He's dropping some wisdom here.
Oh, wait, was it when he
Once you have family, you got to keep your business trips short.
I know.
Keep it to
I
the
always
week.
do the 48-hour, 72-hour
Monday, and I'm
trips.
back on Friday. Like, I
Which
want to be with my
Which
family.
is exactly
Of course
why
you
I'm
do.
staying in Paris for a week extra.
Bam. Yeah.
No
Trust
family.
me.
Are you staying a week
Hey,
extra?
take advantage of that. You know?
Oh, really?
Oh, why not?
Hey, by the way, I just want to let people know Tyler is single and ready to mingle. If there's a French lady, I'm going to tell my audience right now. This is a commandment to the French meetup. I want all the guys at the French meetup to bring a single, sophisticated Parisian woman to show Tyler around the city and have a little romance, if you will. Is that okay if I do that? He's
I think you just
he's a high
city?
quality
it's
guy.
It's pretty romantic.
He's a high quality guy.
It's pretty good.
Who's had a little bit of a rut, let's say, and he's ready to get out there and mix it up and mingle. And the word is being put out as we speak.
Plus, you're.
And I'm going to evaluate the candidates to go on a dream date with Tyler.
You didn't say as well Tyler's running a successful company.
Of course he is. Everybody knows that. He's a
I
successful
downplay
company.
it.
Right, yeah. You're humble.
Yeah.
Tyler's my boy. You ever see Driving Miss Daisy?
Heck yeah.
Tyler Crowley, you're my best friend.
I did not think this was going to happen today.
Oh, Tyler Crowley, you're my best friend. I love that film.
Okay.
All right, there you go.
We're like, all right, I feel awkward now.
All right, hour and 20 minutes. Let's wrap up the show. Hey, stick with us. Stay in the chill room. Do not go anyway. Jose is coming up. You're going to learn about web design, and you're not going to have to pay the $72 a day that you pay on Treehouse. No, Treehouse is $17. How much is it a year?
It's about $300 a year.
Oh, so it's like Linda. It's like $25 a month.
Yeah,
it's
but way better than Linda.
No, Linda is kind of boring. Like,
You're gonna get
yours
skills
is,
that
that actually
so, hey,
work.
that's
Big,
it.
big
I mean, for
dividends.
somebody, it feels like it's underpriced to me. But anyway,
Thank you.
I'd like to also say, if you are a great developer or designer and you want a job, email. What's your personal
Ryan at teamtreehouse.com.
Ryan@teamtreehouse.com, because you never know, you might get lucky and work for one of the best entrepreneurs in the
thank
business
you.
today, in one of the best startups going that Chamath and Kevin Rose and all these great people are investing in. And I'm gonna invest. I'm making the commitment right now. I'll put 10, 25 in, whatever you want me to
Besides
do.
you're investing,
But I do want to be on par with Kevin. Kevin did a lot of work for you, and I didn't.
Yeah.
I want to get.
To raise your game.
No, here's the thing. I feel like I'm on par with Kevin, but I have to recognize that Kevin did a lot of work already, and I didn't. So how about I get 50% of whatever advisor shares Kevin gets?
Interesting.
Will you agree to that right now in the program?
No. Obviously, I'm not going to fall for that trick. We can talk about it.
All right, fine.
Pressure. I'm not going to give in to your pressure.
No, I'll put it in without you giving me a pressure.
All right,
taste.
all right.
But I always fight for a little extra taste. I like a little extra taste.
I like it.
what is it that made you want to invest? Because I think people want to know. And and if you'll say why, did Kevin say what's so exciting
I'll tell you
about
why.
it?
Because I looked him in.
Right, thank you.
You know what
It
just
has
occurred
nothing
to
to
me?
do with my friends investing.
No, but here's what just occurred to me was the economy's in the pooper,
Scooper, duper.
and we say to ourselves, it's like, gosh, if you were unemployed, why wouldn't you just go learn how to be a developer?
Right.
Because these people, you can't, everyone needs one right now. Everybody needs 5 right now.
Oh, yeah.
But what's the resource for converting yourself into this job market?
Right.
I don't think, would you argue there is absolutely
Listen,
no
Mahalo
better
is doing
place than what he's
education,
doing?
and
None.
I'll tell you
Nobody
what.
was doing it better than what he's doing. Now I know why Suster wants in and why those guys are
I'll tell you
excited.
why.
Thank you.
Am I right? That's
Yeah,
part of why they wanted in?
Yeah,
I'll tell you why. Because I looked him in the eye and I said to him, I can't be a reliable angel investor in terms of an email might slip by. I'm under a lot of pressure right now, to be honest. And you said to me, I don't care. And you understand that.
Oh, yeah. No,
I have some guys who are like, they expect me to be involved on a very deep basis, and I had to pass on something that I was going to do because they want me to do their legal work. They want me to.
Oh yeah, no.
They want me to come to meetings with them. I'm like, I can if it's a really super important meeting, I can go. But I have 25 angel investments. I can't go to a meeting a week with them.
People who expect their investors to do their work don't get it.
That's the problem.
I do not expect my investors to do my work.
I'm just saying it's like 1 or 2 cases of this happening, and it's not my whole portfolio. It's not even my portfolio. It's people who want to be my portfolio who are like, I need to talk to Mark Cuban. Can you set it up? I'm like, you know what? That's not really for me to do. I mean, I'm happy to do it for you, but if you haven't proven yourself, and then I'm connecting you to Mark Cuban,
and you're bad,
and I tell you it's not the right time, and then you tell me, well, you think it is, and it's.
I think I was. I was trying to be loyal back. I respect you. I wanted to give you a chance to get in if you wanted it. You're busy. It's fine.
No, but it's really that I just don't want to disappoint you because we're friends. I mean, that's really the core of it. I mean, 10 or 25K is not going to make a difference for me, to be honest. And I feel like I should support you because you've supported me, and I think it's going to be a good investment. So now I'm sort of like, and also my friends are in it. So then I feel as a group we can work on it together. It'd be fun because I'm good with friends with Chamath, and I'm probably going to lose 10K.
And Suster's around?
I'm going to lose 10K in Chamath's game on Friday night anyway.
Right. So
I might as well put it into.
The last thing I learned through all this though is raise money after you're profitable. I mean, you
double your valuation.
Well, yeah,
and you don't need it.
Yeah, I mean, we don't need
the valuation is just $20 million.
Crazy money. No, it's not that.
Oh, I just pulled that out of the air.
But the thing is,
I was waiting for him to say higher.
Right. Well, but the thing
wait
is,
a second. I just agreed to invest without knowing the valuation.
Wait until you don't need the money. Because then it's more about getting the right people involved. It's always been my philosophy.
Hey, everybody, stick with us for This Week in Web Design. Do not go anywhere. The microphones are going to stay up. See you next time. Microphones are going to stay up. Awesome show. You brought it. That was fun. An hour and 25 minutes. It's going to be like, you might be I think you're in the front running for
Really?
Guest of the Year.
I'm
Hey
about
guys,
to
put
go
a
back
picture in a
and
picture
Yeah, me
so we
too.
can see
Me
the
too.
studio.
That was fun. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Really
If you
appreciate
can.
it.
Good to see you. Picture so we can see the studio. Okay.
Guys, that was fun. I love your show, seriously. I've been listening since day one.
It's
Great.
I have to say, I'm so pleased with how the show is going.
Oh, it's a really valuable show. I listen to it when I'm cooking.
Really, that's great.
Never showed up, but I'm about to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, go.
Go do your thing.
So
I'm
I'll
about
be
to
right
explain myself.
Right back.
Yep. It does get cold in here. Now you know why I always wearing a sweater.
Yeah.
Good show. Sorry it went so long.
No, it's
I love this. I love the dorky kid. Where is that kid?
We'll get
There he
you
is.
on the show one day.